Hey everybody, Steve Murphy here, CEO of Boom Fantasy and the host of Jackpot Tonight. Gary is off tonight, so you're stuck with just me. We're going to talk a lot about the jackpot, both tonight as well as future jackpots, as we gear up for what will be an insane March Madness here at Boom. And we'll also talk about LeBron and a lot more. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, Jackpot Tonight is a one-of-a-kind, both low-budget but medium quality live streaming show. We'll get better with time, where we discuss the Mighty Dollar Jackpot in particular, both what needs to happen for someone to win, what happens when no one wins and the prize goes up, and really just answer any and all questions you have about Boom. Boom is what we consider is the fun place to play fantasy sports. FanDuel and DraftKings can be kind of a drag. You're playing against a lot of pros. We really feature the $1 contest, the $4 contest, the contest that you don't need to have a lot of money on the line to have a good time. And our jackpot contests are pretty popular. So again, I'm Steve Murphy. I am the founder and the CEO of the company. And Jackpot Tonight is a nightly show that we do. And I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to welcome you to the app. We've had a lot of new players on the product in the past couple weeks, so it's great to see all the new faces. Let's get right into it. Let's look at the Mighty Dollar Jackpot leaderboard, see what's happening, see what people are rooting for. Right now, earlier tonight, there were a bunch of 3 of 4s in the jackpot contest early in the slate. Now, you're mostly seeing 2 of 4s. But it really will depend on where LeBron finishes in that slate. He's got 21 points now with just under 5 minutes to go in the quarter. Looking at points, the real sort of the real answer throwing people off has been Fournier in points, who's got 19. He was a C choice. So at Boom, we're different. The most choices you'll ever have in a question are 4, and we rank them A, B, C, and D. A is what is considered the perceived favorite, B, the second favorite, C, a mild long shot, and then D, a super long shot. And so in these jackpot contests where you're trying to go a perfect 4 for 4 or a perfect 8 for 8 in the bigger contests, you're mostly choosing A and B combinations with the occasional C thrown in there. But the more that a C or D choice lands as the winner, the less likely it is that someone will win the slate. And so you see that Fournier was a C choice, and he's got 19. And right now, it looks like Jokic is not going to finish that. He's got 9 with 5 minutes to go. So that really will screw up a lot of people. Drummond was the kind of the obvious choice for rebounds, or at least the favorite. A lot of people chose him and got that right. And then assists. Assists has right now another C, Barton, in the lead. But Dragic, who is the A choice, is still contending just 1 before. So a lot of action to go. Jokic will really screw up a lot of lineups tonight. And let me, for those of you who are new, Boom is a pick'em fantasy sports site. So we don't do the salary caps, we don't do all of that sort of nonsense and complications. We offer you very simple gameplay where you choose between up to 4 athletes in a certain category. So who have the most points tonight, or who have the most rebounds tonight. And that's effectively, it's a simple contest, a simple structure. But we have 3 different varieties. So we have heads-up contests, where you're just playing against another user. Whoever gets the most points, whoever gets the most correct wins. And if you choose underdogs, you choose long shots, you get rewarded for it. Effectively you have a bigger bonus if they outscore the competitors in the question. We also have tournaments where, similar like poker tournaments, where the top 20 to 25% of players get paid. And those you can see those in the lobby, they're the blue shaded contests. And then we have our jackpot contests, and these are really what we've become well known for. And those are the gold contests. And they're player to player, you're playing against a lot of other people, but you're really playing to go perfect. And if you go perfect, and the Mighty Dollar Jackpot, that's 4 questions. If you answer all 4 correctly, no ties, just a perfect 4 for 4, you win the entire jackpot. So tonight the jackpot is $100. It's gotten as high as $2,000. And effectively, any night where no one goes perfect, the prize goes up the next night. And it can get pretty up there in a hurry. So tonight, prize is $100. We'll see if anyone takes it down. Right now, no one is contending. So, we'll see how people do that. And again, for those of you who are joining, I'm Steve Murphy. I am the CEO of Boom, and the lesser attractive face of Jackpot Tonight. Gary is off tonight. My producer Brian has let me know that I'm mispronouncing athlete names terribly. So Fournier, is that right, Brian? You let me know. Gary is definitely my normal co-host. So this is usually a show that's co-hosted by Gary and I. And Gary is definitely more of the daily fantasy sports expert. He has a background in professional gaming of all kinds, poker and fantasy sports. And so he provides the analysis. I provide what do I provide? Who knows what I provide? Mild entertainment. Have we worked up to mild entertainment? I saw. Speaking of mild entertainment, or actually, I would say at least medium entertainment. I saw a few players in the chat riffing on me a little bit, including Chamook changing his avatar to my face, which flattered, weirded out. No, I'll go with flattered. Chamook. So thank you for that. And Joel, I'm seeing Joel in the chat. Joel's one of our better jackpot players. He's won a couple of them. He's asking where the big boned babies are at. I believe the push notification was promising Tales of LeBron, and originally it was Fat Babies, but Fat Babies sounded mean, and so we went with like a South Park Cartman, Big Boned Babies. So yeah, we'll talk about all that and more. First is LeBron. I mean, let me actually see if I can pull this out. I should have done this before the show. I'm not going to waste my time looking for it, but for this job, I travel a lot actually. So we're based here in New York City. Our entire team is based here in New York, but I'm traveling to California pretty regularly. Almost all of the company's investors are there. So we've raised $3.5 million. Helps us hire great people. Helps us pay for all the servers. Helps us really build a product worth playing. And so we're very grateful for our investors. But I travel a lot to meet with them and to give them updates on how the business is doing. And one time, it was just before the regular season started, I headed to California and I went to San Francisco because that's where a lot of our investors are. And my wife and our two kids, which are two kids, are like 1-year-old and 2-year-old, they're very small, decided to go to LA where she has family. And I was planning on meeting them there, but I was like, listen, I have to do a few more meetings in San Francisco first. So I went to San Francisco first, and she hung out with my sister down in LA. And my sister, she's in sales and technology, and, by virtue of her job, she gets access to really cool sort of elite places that would never let me in the door. And so she took my wife and our kids to some, posh place in LA. And, while I'm running around San Francisco trying to meet with people to, both tell them how the business is doing and tell them all the great stuff we're working on, they wound up getting seated right next to LeBron James at this sort of like posh club restaurant. And sure enough, LeBron sees our baby, and for privacy's sake, and so my wife doesn't get very angry at me. Our baby is enormous. I mean, he is a fat baby. He is 99th percentile in weight. Good looking guy, because he's going to grow up and eventually see this. Great looking baby. But he is 99th percentile and then some. To the point where he's only 1 year old and people think he's like 2.5. He actually, at 1 year old, he outweighs my 2.5-year-old. That's how big he is. And so LeBron was actually hanging out with like Chris Paul. He was hanging out with a bunch of other, Kevin Love. He was hanging out with a bunch of big name stars. And they were just like staring at my child. And they're like, man, that's a husky big bone baby. And that was my LeBron voice because I do imitations on the reg. And so that's my LeBron James baby story. While I'm just sort of like hustling in San Francisco trying to meet people, I should have just taken the day off, hung out with my wife, met LeBron and Chris Paul. Perhaps sometime in the future I can use my baby as a prop again and make those connections. So that's my LeBron baby story. Speaking of LeBron, I'm looking at the Nuggets-Cavs score off screen. It's being played on Fox Sports in some markets. Nuggets are up 7 points with 1:45 to go, so we'll see if the Cavs can keep it close. And let's jump into the leaderboard and see how people are doing. So LeBron's got 23 with 1:45, so he's right around his range. People could wind up nailing whatever he lands on, but it's just that first question that is throwing some people off. Though I see Lil Quan, I like that. Lil Quan got that correct. He also got Drummond correct. Let's see what he has for the third question of that first slate. He's got a real contender. He's got Dragic to beat Barton, who he needs 2 more assists to make that happen. And then he has LeBron at 33. That's a tough total. He needs LeBron to score 10 more points in this game. But, I'm looking at the screen now. Actually, Nuggets they must have stolen the ball. They're up actually 9 now with 1:16. That's not looking likely. So it looks like no one is going to take it down in this first slate. But there are a bunch of other slates to go. There's Celtics at Rockets, which is at halftime. That'll be a big slate that a lot of people will watch. And then there's a late slate of games. So still a lot of action. And, of course, the great thing about the Mighty Dollar Jackpot, when you don't win, it feels like a win if no one else wins, because the next night you play for even bigger. A dollar entry to win $100, $200, $300, $2,000 in some cases when it gets super high can be pretty exciting. So as of now, no one's seriously contending the jackpot, but it's early. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna dive back into the chat to see what's going on. Okay, yeah. Listen, Fat Babies, you know what? We also have North Carolina Duke, which is just a great game in general, and we got a bunch of entries in that. So we'll see if anyone's able to take down the jackpot on that. The Mighty Dollar Jackpot crosses all sports. We are so excited for March Madness. We're going to roll out a couple new jackpot contests that should be pretty insane. So if you're looking forward to having a little bit of money legally riding on a game of skill, play Boom for March Madness. It'll be a great time. I'm seeing Joel's comment that he was a 10.6 pound baby. I don't even remember. So our son is named Teddy. I don't even remember how big he was when he was born. He was a little above average, but it was pretty normal. He just by 2 months he was 99th percentile. He's been 99th percentile every month since. You kind of wish they would tell you it into the decimals. I want to know, is he 99.8 percentile, 99.2? What are we dealing with? I had a friend, Mark. He was actually one of my college roommates. He and his wife Ellen. I hope I can talk about this on air. Yeah, that's fine. They're not watching, so that's fine. He and his wife Ellen had a baby that was 99th percentile in weight and 99th percentile in height. So they would just call him the biggest baby in the world, which I kind of like that nickname. Speaking of nicknames, I think I need one. We put Papa Murph Dog in the push notification. I don't think that's gonna stick. People used to call me Smurf. Once in 5th grade, someone called me White Chocolate. I loved that nickname. Didn't stick. So yeah, if you can think of a good nickname for me that is not an insult, feel free to throw it out in the name, and maybe I'll replace my label with that. Speaking of just these live streams in general, so we've been doing these live streams only for about 3 weeks. So the quality is fine. It's not A+, but sometimes it skips, and we're aware of that, and we know it's sort of no frills, and people seem to be enjoying it anyway, but we know it's kind of a little bit rudimentary, if you will. But this is really just step one of a pretty big media initiative that we're going to be rolling out the next few months. We are going to be doing a lot of content. So it'll be stuff like this, where it's live streaming and we talk about the contests. But it'll also be weekly shows. So weekly shows where maybe we interview a big name player. It'll be more strategy content. Maybe it'll be an inside look on our business. We're a small team, but we have a lot of fun doing what we're doing at Boom, and And I think a lot of our players would actually like to know, what are sort of some of the behind the scenes of a startup in the sports technology space. So we're thinking about doing a show like that. But effectively, we are going to do a lot of content over the next several months, and really up the production value. So right now you're seeing what is the 1.0 version of our media efforts, but we're pretty excited to launch both a bunch of new shows as well as to take this to the next level, both from a viewing experience in terms of graphics and animations and the interface, as well as to just superior content than just watching me with zero experience on air before 3 weeks ago try to fill the airwaves. So if you're thinking like, fantasy sports is fun, but I wish I had more content around it, or fantasy sports is fun, but I'm looking for a more sort of holistic mobile sports experience, that's where we're going. We're effectively, right now we're a gaming company, but we're really becoming a gaming and entertainment company. And so we're actually raising a lot of money right now. Not announcing it yet, but we're raising a lot of money right now to really expand and do some cool stuff. So we're super psyched to build out these media offerings. Expect a lot more content, everything from like nightly game recaps, talking about the Cavs game, to really in-depth fantasy content. So super excited about that. If you have ideas, let us know. Email us at support@boomfantasy.com, or just talk in the chat. And actually, one of our regular players, Chamook, gave us some awesome feedback on $2 jackpot names. So I'm going to see if I can pull up that email, because I thought it was pretty awesome. One of the contests that we're going to be launching in the coming weeks, I would say probably within 2 weeks. We'll see if we got to test it. We need to make sure it works seamlessly, but it's effectively going to be the Mighty Dollar, but at $2 price point. It'll probably be different questions, so whoever wins it, the Mighty Dollar, doesn't also win the $2 jackpot on the same night. But it'll effectively be a $2 jackpot that will start at 200 or 250 or what have you. That will probably rise much more quickly than the dollar, just by the virtue of more money going into the jackpot every day. And so here are Chamook's suggestions for the name of the new $2 jackpot. I'll read them off to you. The Mighty Deuce, the Daily Deuce. I like the Daily Deuce. That's kind of cool. Deuce is Wild. Has a little bit of a poker card handle. I'm not sure about that one. Double Dollar and Double Diamond. And by the way, I say $2. It may actually be like $1.98 or $2.22, just to differentiate a little bit from our $2 progressive jackpot, the 8-question contest where you can win $35,000. So those are Chamook's names. Can you do better? That's the option. And by the way, if you give us a name that we wind up using for the new $2 jackpot, and again, it'll probably be like $2.22. That's kind of the price point we're thinking about right now. We will give you the very first entry in Boom history to it for free. So let us know. Give us suggestions. Right now, I heard a suggestion that I'm going to throw out there. Internally, we discussed this. Okay, fine. It's my suggestion. I don't want to temper you and have you hate it before I say it. But $2 Chuck, $2 Chuck. That's a pretty good name for an easy to play, easy to win, easy to swig, easy to compete in $2 jackpot, isn't it? $2 Chuck. You chuck in one entry, $2. No good. No bueno. All right. Well, let us know. $2 jackpot coming soon. Again, an easy $2 jackpot, a 4-question $2 jackpot, because I think that will be... And Mighty Dollar's not going anywhere. We love the Mighty Dollar. I think it's a nice, easy price point. Doesn't scare people away. If you lose $1. Not a big deal. We're really big on creating an experience that players can play of all levels. If you're not a professional at FanDuel DraftKings, you're going to lose. I mean, you could lightning could strike, and perhaps 1 in a million can win, but you're effectively it's tough. And I'm coming from someone who, before starting Boom, I studied this industry professionally. I've been in gaming for a long time, and that is kind of what led us to start Boom. Is we saw FanDuel and DraftKings as really, I don't want to call them unfair products because ultimately people choose to do whatever they want with their money. But they were so complicated and there were so many variables in terms of 15 statistics, all of them getting points, all of salary caps, for every player. It was there were so many variables in it that it became quite clear that if you didn't have, some sophisticated algorithm helping you along the way, you were at a huge disadvantage. And so we started Boom to try to eliminate, all that sort of need to have tools to play fantasy sports, because that's not why we play fantasy sports. We play fantasy sports because it's fun. We want to be able to have a rooting interest in the games. We want to choose some of our favorite athletes, and we want to, use strategy to beat our opponents and hopefully win some money. And so that's our goal at Boom. That's the experience we're trying to build. And we found that these jackpots are a really nice avenue to doing it. Jumping in to the chat. Yeah, Bihas, it's good to see you in the chat again. Saying all I play are the progressives. That is, I want to win those. Yeah, I think the progressives are the most fun part. So we have 4 jackpot contests here at Boom. We've got the Mighty Dollar for $1. We have the $2 progressive, which is 8 questions that you need to go perfect. 4 different players have gone 7 of 8, but no one has won that yet. So it's up to over $35,000. That goes up every day. And then we have the 100K jackpot, which is also 8 questions, but the lightning bolt ranges are even tighter, so it's even a little bit harder. We had one player just, 2 weeks ago go 7 of 8 with a tie. That was the closest we've seen to a $100,000 winner. And then we have the $1 million contest, which is 9 questions. I think the best anyone's gotten that is like 6 of 9. We just launched that a couple months ago. No one has hit it yet, but it's hard to have it has to be hard to make the odds work where we can do it. But $4 to win $1 million is not an opportunity you have at many fantasy sites, and so you have that opportunity every day. And to be clear, we're rooting for people. We actually, those $100,000 and $1 million prizes are fully insured, so we're rooting for you guys as much as well. I'm sure you're rooting for yourself a little bit more, but we're rooting for winners in that. We'd like to have big winners. We've had a $40,000 winner in a night. We've had $10,000. We've had multiple $10,000 winners in a night. Last month when we crowned a $2,000 jackpot, it was split between 2 players. One of those guys won $1,100 on his very first day on the platform. So, Boom is one of the places where you can jump onto the platform and the very first day you can turn $1 into hundreds or $1 into 1,000. And again, I think we're pretty unique in that. Ooh, the $2 holla. I like that a lot, Joel. I like that a lot. The $2 holla. We'll see. Maybe we'll put it to a vote. Maybe we'll throw a survey out. Maybe we'll actually create a survey in the app. Kind of a vote. I think that could be fun too. We're looking to really enhance these live streams. We're looking to enhance our video content. Maybe we're thinking about interactive live polls. We're thinking about doing some kind of like trivia stuff as well. Stay tuned for that. And that was, by the way, that was a suggestion that came from our players. We asked our players, what do you want us to do? What other kind of gameplay do you want us to do? And that was one of the things that was recommended. So yeah, there's a lot of really, really cool stuff in the works here at Boom. If you're just joining us, this is Jackpot Tonight. Jackpot Tonight is a nightly live streaming show that we do at Boom. I'm Steve Murphy. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of Boom Fantasy. A little bit about me. I like long walks on the beach. No, I do actually. Who doesn't like long walks on the beach? But yes, I'm not very funny, but I'm the best we have for tonight. So you're just gonna have to make do with this Saturday night entertainment that I'm trying to give. But yeah, I've been in gaming my entire career. I actually, before starting Boom, I was editor of a poker magazine. I was also sports editor of a couple of newspapers for a while back there in Oklahoma, of all places. What else? I was vice president of a Facebook gaming company for a while. I was a consultant in Las Vegas for MGM Resorts. And now I'm the CEO of Boom, having a blast and really enjoying it. And so that's a little bit about me. Boom is located in New York City in the heart of Midtown. which is fun. You know, it's fun to work in New York. But I've lived in places both in and out of the city, so I definitely also appreciate the slower paced environment. Looking at the jackpot, let's see how the late slate is doing. No one has crept up to 3 or 4 yet, so I'm looking at the NCAA contest, and we've got Bagley and points. So I'm looking at Kalia 1, and Kalia 1 is a longtime boot player. I definitely recognize that name. He has Bagley for both points and rebounds, which he's winning. He has Duval for assists, though, but that is Duval, who is the favorite, is having a slow game. He only has 1 so far, where Grayson Allen is up to 4. And then Joel Berry is the lightning bolt question, and Joel Berry's having a very slow game. He's only at 4 points as well. Opening up to see... Let's see. How much time is left in that North Carolina game? Because it's a college sport, we don't have that score in our app. You got to pay extra for college sports, apparently. So our data feed does not provide that instantly. So we need to plug that in. But yeah, so thanks, by the way. I saw in the compliment, saying that we've done a great job with Boom. I really appreciate it. You know, we're obviously trying hard. We're having a good time while we're doing it. And we're doing everything based off player feedback. I mean, that really for us, that's been one of the great things about these live streams, is it's an opportunity for you to see us, to see that we're not just sort of like some random guys who are, in a box. We want to have a direct link with our players. We want to listen to our players. We want to build what they want us to build. We want to make the app that much better. And so do not hesitate to ever, by the way, don't hesitate to complain. If you're playing Boom and you're like, what the heck is this? This didn't meet my expectations, email us, complain. Email us at support@boomfantasy.com. Give us an opportunity to look into it and make it better. But yeah, it's great to have so many people, play and compliment us. And like I said, it's been a big month for us. We've had a lot of great new players on the app, and we're excited about what we're doing and what we're building. Let me see, before heading off tonight, let's see, I'm going to jump into what we have on the docket for tomorrow. So again, a lot of action to be played here, so we certainly could see a winner tonight, but let's say we don't. If we don't, the jackpot will likely go up to 150 plus. And let's see what contests are available tomorrow night. And by the way, Saturday night, you probably have 20 seconds to get in it for the 10 p.m. game. So I see a lot of people are jumping in it now. But tomorrow we actually have a lot of good stuff. So we have round 4 of golf of the Mexico Championship. We have the Pennzoil 400 NASCAR. And by the way, NASCAR, someone did win the Mighty Dollar Jackpot last week. So some of those, if you're knowledgeable in NASCAR, that may be a little bit softer of a contest than our typical NBA contests. I don't know that for a fact because I don't know anything about NASCAR. I don't know if it's easier or harder, but I do know that someone won the jackpot last week on NASCAR. We've got the Sunday early slate, the Sunday main slate, and the Sunday night slate. So a lot of opportunities to get your jackpot picks in. A lot of opportunities to win. And so I'm jumping in. Oh yes, that game was on 7. Cool. Keep those names coming. The Triple Deuce Sluice. I like that. Alliteration is not needed, but it's encouraged. Okay, again, I'm going to sign off here. Again, I'm Steve Murphy, co-founder and CEO of Boom. We've got a lot of great media content on the way, and a lot of great new jackpot contests on the way. So good luck, keep booming, and have fun. Talk to you soon, everybody.